Hello everyone, my name is Joe and welcome to my channel, which is now called Four Soft Corners. I've been on YouTube since 2013. Up until this point I've been known as Old Painless 13, which is just an obscure reference from the movie Predator, but this is the first video I'm making and I figured my channel name should probably have something to do with collecting cards, so that's why I have the name change. Before I go too far, I just wanted to give a shout out to a person I'm probably going to reference several times a video, or reference some of the knowledge he puts forward several times a video, so I just wanted to give that shout out now. And this man is really the reason I've ultimately pushed myself to start creating content, and the inspiration behind why I collect the way I do and for having the passion of collecting the way I do, and that is Eric Those Back Pages. So I just want to say thank you to him. I he kind of puts forward the mantra of you cry, I buy, when it comes to him collecting modern vintage and reaping the benefits of people discounting cards because they may have not received the slabs or received the grades on the slabs that they wanted to. I kind of do the same. I take and look for cards that people see that are flawed, if they have creases or writing on the back or marks or pencil marks or even four soft corners. I will accept any discount that is given on those, because ultimately I just want to own the card, and if people are willing to discount the card, I just get to own more of those cards. So that's pretty much what I look for in collecting. About 95% of what you see on this channel will just be raw, low-grade vintage. From the start, it'll mostly probably just be showing off some of the cards I have so far, and will eventually probably be of pickups. Going forward, then this year be going to the National Atlantic City for my first time ever, so there'll be some videos leading up to that as far as to what I think I can expect and what I'll be looking for, and then maybe do some videos while I'm there and also recaps afterwards. So like I said, about 95% of what you'll see on this channel is just raw, low-grade vintage. I'm also a Phillies fan, so I mean, you'll see some small PCs I have of players from there, and a few other obscure PCs, none more so than this guy. It's Billy Butler, which may be a very obscure PC to have, but I'll get more into that later. I'll just say, to one of my best friends, Bryn, may have coined me with the nickname Country Breakfast, and instead of being upset with it, I kind of just ran with it, so that's where that comes from. As far as for today's video, I wasn't sure where to start for sure. My favorite all-time player, you might be able to see in the back there, the relic card, is Stan Musial. So not that he's really the reason I started collecting vintage, but maybe where my journey of collecting vintage started was with him. So I figured I would just go through what I have of the player run of his cards. It is not complete. I would ultimately like to one day have his 48 Bowman rookie and the 49 Leaf card, but for right now I do not have those. But I will say, while most of what I own is raw, low-grade vintage, most of these cards are actually in pretty good shape, because I was willing to find some better looking copies just because he is my favorite player, and it was really the first vintage I dabbled into it all. So some of these are actually in pretty good shape and maybe actually should get graded, but I just enjoy putting everything in a binder next to other cards from sets, so that's just the way I like to collect. So we'll start with his last playing days card, and that is 63 Topps. So this one is actually very nice shape. Is the back and almost his full set of stats on there. So next we'll go, and I will just mention that these types of cards are some of my favorite when collecting vintage cards, just because you get multiple guys and often multiple Hall of Famers on one card. Like this one with Stan Musial and Willie Mays, the Pride of the NL card. This one also is in pretty nice shape. I used to hate these cards, and they've come to grow on me. The floating heads, I guess they started to grow on me because, like most all league leader cards, it's a great way to get, again, like the last Pride of the NL card, a great way to get multiple. I mean, here we have Stan Musial, Frank Robinson, and Hank Aaron on the same card. 62 National League batting leaders. And actually, of all those guys, the batting leader of that year was Tommy Davis. You can see on this one, actually does have a staple mark in it, but to me is still a great looking card. Now we'll go into probably one of my least favorite sets of all time. Some people like the wood paneling look, I just do not. This is the Musial plays his 21st season card. And there's his base 62 Topps. I will say the wood paneling look maybe does hide some of the blemishes a little bit, and probably actually looks better than the 80s wood paneling people have on some of their homes, or did have on some of their homes. You can see this one's a little off center in the back then, but now is 61 Topps card, which I used to not be a huge fan of this set either, but has really grown on me. I mean, everything is really a up-close shot of it. And most cards in the set have their centering issues, but it really has grown on me and is one of my more favorite sets. And now we'll go to which was the first, and as of this video, the only set I've ever completed. Which I guess that's another, I really started when I started collecting vintage, I just kind of started with this Stan Musial run. Then I decided I kind of wanted to try and complete a whole set, so I started with 1960. I just liked the look of it, and overall did not feel like it was a very hard set to complete, and I was able to complete it. So after that, I decided to go to 1959, which, minus the Bob Gibson rookie, I also didn't think would be too hard to complete. I got about halfway through that set and just kind of stalled out. You can only find so many cards at LCSs or local card shows, and I mean, you can find lots of cards online, but my main avenue to find stuff is locally, so kind of just reached the place where I just kind of got stalled and just was stagnant for a little bit, wasn't really picking much up, so kind of changed the way. Instead of just focusing on one set, I decided to just pick up cards from different sets. So basically any set I had a card from, I just printed out the checklist, and as I got more cards, I would just cross them off or print out more checklists. So to where I am in collecting right now, I have basically every checklist from 1950 to 1980 printed out, and some of them I only have as little as one card. Some of them, like I said, after finishing the 60 set, I have almost half of the 1959 set, and actually almost half of the 1953 set completed. The 53 top set. But it's just what I look to do now, is just pick up any cards that are discounted. If they're have any flaws that people find as flaws, I just accept those discounts, and it allows me to collect as many cards as I'd like. So this is probably one of my favorite subsets ever. The first year they did the baseball thrills. This is 59 tops. Musial wraps out 3000s hit. I have almost this whole run from this. I do not have the Mantle or the Hank Aaron yet, but every card in that subset is really nice looking. And then this is the base 59 tops. Again, just like 60 tops, I guess I kind of like this one. Just lots of different and interesting colors in it. I like the Christmas color back on these. Also prefer these years that have full stats as compared to just the previous year's stats. Here, of course, is his first tops card. It's the 58 Topps All-Star. Really is a bummer he was not signed with Topps for some of the great looking sets. That would have been very great looking cards of his. And down to 2 cards. This is he has bunch of different food or beverage or tobacco. There's the Red Heart card. I do not have that. This is the only not Bowman or Topps card I have. This is the 52 Wheaties, and this is the action pose as compared to the portrait. I debated getting this graded. I think there's enough of the border all the way around that it could actually receive a grade. I'm trying to get the focus, as opposed to just the authentic. It does have some issues with the surface there and on the back. But being that I probably wouldn't collect any more cards from this set, I think it would just look good on the desk as a slab. And lastly, this is my favorite card I own of his so far. By far in the worst condition, but to me, I think it is a great looking card no matter in what condition. It's the 52 Bowman. Just the colors on this, the stadium in the background. Of course, I mean, there's a big huge crease. There's lots of color loss. There's some pretty rough corners on there. Some staining and some paper loss on the back, but all in all, it's still a beautiful card to me. So that'll do it for this video. I will see you next time, and I just want to give a reminder that any card can be a great looking card, even if it has 4 soft corners. See you next time.